sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reverb Common Sense Show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the...
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome now. We're going to be talking about some touchy subjects here, so I want to make sure I got that warning at the beginning of the show. We are going to be talking about firearms. We are going to be talking about abortion, and we are going to be talking about Russia. Today's been a weird day. But this is basically X-Roulette that and not here. And I hate these stuff. I really, really hate this mixing board. As probably everybody knows, there was a school shooting today. What I know so far, four people were shot, 2 people were dead, 2 people are injured from gunshot wounds. There's multiple other people that were injured from the panic and running, and I'm not downgrading their injuries. I'm just saying that the other injuries were not gunshot related. Well, according to how you want to classify related. It was, from what I understand, a 14-year-old. So we're going to start off. How did a 14-year-old get a gun? And I love there's the backseat driving now about guns, which happens every time. We didn't even know what happened, and Twitter was filled with all the normal mouthpieces screaming and yelling, gun ban, gun ban, gun ban, assault weapon ban. I still don't even know what weapon was used. I want to start off by saying, number one, I do feel for the family. For those that don't know, my family was involved in gun violence too. So it's not like I don't have an understanding or heart for what's going on, because I do. And that's why I have a lot of my opinions, is because of the history with gun violence in my family. The one thing I understand is gun-free zones create one thing: victims. Anybody that knows or wants to commit a heinous crime knows they can go to a gun-free zone. And I hate to use the term, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel. There's no resistance. And one of the things I don't understand, ban guns, ban guns. We already have a gun ban in effect. It is federally against the law for anybody but law enforcement to bring a gun onto school property. It is against federal law. It is banned. Period. So, according to these anti-gun nuts, bans work. Well, why isn't that ban working? There's a ban on murder. Murder is against the law. But yet, people still murder each other. It boggles my mind. Because all we ever hear is it's the gun's fault, the gun's fault, the gun's fault. We don't know why we have this. It's a gun problem. No, it isn't a gun problem. The problem is we keep making excuses for these shooters. And by not blaming the shooters and blaming a gun, you are making an excuse for the action of those humans. And then others see it. I'm not going to get blamed. The gun's going to get blamed. We have a bunch of people that have entitlement and don't feel any repercussions could come on them because someone hurt their feelings. Now, I don't know what caused this gun shooting yet. And that's not the point of this talk. And I've said, I don't know if I started the show with it. I don't know how long the show will go for. I'm going to talk about the subjects I want to talk about, and that'll be it. These people just can't get it through their heads. And what really pisses me off, and I'm going to preface it, I've said it plenty of times on the show, I am not against 100 ban on abortion. Medical issues, rape, understandable. I've even gone so far to say 6 to 10 weeks after that ban. Sorry. Make sure that was Shaun. All these people save the children. These are the same people that just held a convention and parked an abortion vehicle out front to give abortions. Free vasectomies. And I've come to the point, most of the people that are getting abortions are Democrats. And what are they doing? They're killing their own people off. They're killing future Democrats off. They're thinning their herd while Republicans stay strong. Now, I know I'll have some Republicans bitching at me because I'm not talking an outright ban. And it's my opinion. But when you have people screaming, if he's just one child, except if it's in the womb, then we're going to murder it. That's hypocrisy at its best. You cannot sit there and say you care about children and push abortions under the guise of reproductive rights. Do you know why they call it reproductive rights? Because abortion, everybody know, is killing a baby. Reproductive rights sounds like you want to reproduce, add. Abortion is subtraction. So, as the left always does, undocumented immigrants, Americans in waiting. No, illegal aliens. Reproductive rights. No, abortion. Murder. And I love it because I was like, you just want to ban all abortion. I never said that. I'm just pointing out the people that are crying about guns and, oh my God, the children, save the children. And I know I'm repeating myself, and I don't give a flying fuck. I'm going to repeat myself to get this through people's heads. Don't come at me telling me you love children. You just want to murder them in the womb. We don't want up until full viability abortions. Yes, you do. We don't want after birth abortions. Yes, you do. Prove it. And I hate that because the other night I had someone do that. Give me one instant that ever happened. It was like, I was tired. And about an hour later, it popped in my head. Wasn't there an abortion doctor out of Philly? He went to prison for late-term abortions, after-birth abortions, botching abortions. So to sit there and tell me it doesn't happen, it fucking happens. You can gaslight all you want. And don't tell me, because Minnesota's tried to push through late-term abortions, after-birth abortions. And the other thing is, don't tell me, well, you're a man. You don't have a right to the conversation. How did you get pregnant? By the man. So, yes, we do have a right to this conversation because those are our offsprings. Because when that child's born, you sure as hell want money. If I want to get a vasectomy, I got to get my wife's approval. Oh, but nobody talks about that. But back to the guns. If we want to end gun violence, let's start going to the heart of it. We're raising kids who don't believe they have any consequences for their actions because we'll make excuses for them. We'll blame the gun. And they blare all over the media, all over social media for these kids to see. And they all see it. And if these Democrats cared so much for the kids, then why aren't we protecting our children like we protect our politicians? These politicians got security all around them, but Democrats keep voting down any resemblance of security bills to help protect our children. The hypocrisy. And I know some idiots on the left going, well, this and this and this and this. I had one, well, you voted out universal health care. Okay. And free health care I'm not for. Well, you're against mental health. No, I'm not. Well, universal care, health care is the same. It has health in it. No, it doesn't. It's not the same thing. And we got to watch how we push the mental health. Do you want to know why a lot of this didn't happen back in the 80s and so forth? And before? We had asylums. And when we knew somebody was mentally unstable, we know we could put them in a safe place. Was there abuse here and there? Yes. Everything, there's going to be exceptions to all the rules. So don't come at me with that one. But Democrats didn't want them in there. They wanted them free. So they're now free. We have all illegal immigrants are criminals, but not all illegal immigrants are mentally unstable. But we have a lot, especially when Cuba opened their jail cells and go to America. What do we get in this country? It's I'm so sick of it. Why aren't we protecting our kids like we protect our politicians? And listen, if you want to jump in, you can jump in the live chat and join the conversation. I don't care. But the one thing I won't take, I'm done. I've been dealing with it enough, is typical Democrat insult, name calling, cussing. You know, if you drop an F-bomb and you're like, well, this is fucking bullshit. Yeah, I'm not have said that. When you start name calling and just insulting and that's your whole argument, I'm not going to be involved in those conversations. It's I'm done. Let's protect our kids like we protect our politicians. But that won't happen. Because Democrats want to spend money on illegal aliens. They want to spend money on their own pockets. Oh, and that's another one I'm tired of, and I'm sorry to bring it in. Republicans, and they're always protecting the rich, and all they care about the rich. And who the fuck has the most millionaires? Democrats. They use that to play on your heartstrings, and they ain't going to do shit about any tax credits, any of that, because they don't want to pay extra tax. They use it to fuck with your head.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reverb Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back. X-Roulette, I've called this. Well, actually, Shaun. I'm not going to take credit. Sackhead Shaun coined that name. And as I said, he's not here tonight because he is not feeling well. You know how Massachusetts people are. They can't put the big boy pants on. He would bust my balls just as if it was reversed. But this isn't a regularly scheduled show. We will do these when, basically when we want to. When we want to fuck around and have a conversation. This one I wanted to have because I'm so tired of this bullshit. And I know this isn't going to stop the bullshit. I dealt with the violence. I watched what happens when you're not allowed to have a gun and protect yourself. And what it does. And there's nobody there for you. These Democrats aren't there for you. I am from a fucking Democrat state. And there was no fucking politicians knocking on our door to help out. There was no organizations knocking on our door to help out. Times got tough. Times got rough. My dad got shot. 23 surgeries, 10 years. In and out of hospitals. Don't know if my father's going to be there. Why? Because some guy didn't know how to use his mouth? We never knew the reason behind it. Never was caught. And this is New Jersey. It's pretty much impossible to get a concealed carry permit. So I've lived through it. I feel sorry for the parents. I'm sorry. But it's not the gun's fault. It's that kid behind it, for whatever reason. And for something like this, there is no justification for why he chose to go this route. Trying to see if I can pull some information on the kid. Everything saying so far that I've seen is a 14-year-old student. I want to know how he got that gun. And if need be, if it's from his parents should be held liable if it wasn't properly secured. And no, I'm not always for everything has to be locked down tighter than a drum. You didn't teach your kid how to deal with stuff. Sorry to say that. But what your kid did was unexcusable. But we have Democrats and these anti-gunners that are going to give them excuses and blame the fucking gun. As I said, I know I've said it, and I'm going to keep fucking repeating it. And don't sit there, we need to ban assault weapons. You don't even, I haven't even seen what weapon this kid used. Two resources. I'm reading through some of this. Account of the shooter within minutes after the report of shots fired went out. The suspect, a student in the school, immediately surrendered and was taken into custody. He is being charged as an adult with murder. The teen had been interviewed after the FBI had received anonymous tips in May 2023 about online threats to commit an unspecified school shooting. Surprise! The FBI interviewed one of these kids again and did nothing. The FBI narrowed the threat down and referred the case to the sheriff's department in Jackson County, which is adjacent to Barrow, I think it is, county. The sheriff's officers interviewed then 13-year-old and his father, who said there were hunting guns in the house, but the teen did not have unsupervised access to them. The teen also denied making any online threats. The sheriff's officer alerted local schools for continued monitoring of the team, but there was no probable cause for arrest to additional action, the FBI said. Authorities were still looking into how the suspect obtained the gun used in the shooting and got it into the school in Barlow County. Officials would not say what type of gun was used. You can rule out an AR-15 or AK-47. Because if it was, they would have told us so that the narrative could begin. With the father saying hunting rifles, probably a shotgun. That's my guess. Just a guess. The problem I'm having also right here, and after reading that, how many times have we heard the FBI interviewed him several months before they went on a mass shooting? They interviewed him before they went and killed these people. Well, let's blame the gun. Let's not blame the human for their actions. Because I must have broken guns. Because none of mine have done a shooting. Guns do not kill. Humans do. Humans are the one that pull the trigger. And I'll go back to, we have gun bans. It is federally against the fucking law to bring a gun onto school property. It is illegal for a 14-year-old to have a gun in his possession without supervision. And I'll back that one because I don't know Georgia state law, how they work, but I know under 18, you don't have a right to be carrying a gun like that. And the big one, murder's against the law. If laws worked, just need murders against the law. But these people, when they're dead set on committing a heinous crime, do you think, yeah, okay, let's magically ban all guns and somehow remove every gun from the United States and any way for any gun to ever enter through the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, through the Gulf, through Canada. You know, yeah, we got a magical field. Do you think that's going to stop this when we constantly excuse the shooter by not putting the blame on them? What is it? The Sarnoff's brothers used a pressure cooker? Oklahoma City bomber used basically diesel fuel and fertilizer and blew up half a fucking building. And I think it's the same bomb that terrorists used in the original attack on the World Trade Center. Before 9/11, there was an attack where they had a truck with explosives that went off in the parking garage underneath. There is dozens of chemicals that are in your house right now, and I won't list them. There's dozens of chemicals that you have in your house that you could make a mass explosive device. It's common knowledge on a lot of this stuff. So you're going to trade one off for the other and leave people unprotected? Because guess what? Yeah, four people got shot, 2 got killed, 2 got injured right now. I don't know their conditions. But you know why it wasn't worse than that? Because a good guy with a gun stopped the kid. They tried throwing a hissy fit down here in Florida, in my area. Because I think one of the college or high schools now has metal detectors kids have to go through. They're throwing a hissy fit over and see how bad DeSantis is doing. They've been in New York City, Philadelphia, several cities in California, Chicago. How about we start maybe there? It's simple, easy. We start putting security on these doors. We have how many vets out of work? And how many said they'd be more than willing to step up to protect those children? Let me tell you, those kids, it is not a thing of scary to have police officers in their school and all that. These agencies have learned how to interact and make the kids feel safe. A lot of the kids feel safe knowing they have law enforcement in the school. But Democrats, they are just dead set on destroying the Second Amendment at any cost. No matter how many people die, because they just want to ban the Second Amendment. And don't give me, no one ever said they didn't want to ban. Oh, we need to ban assault rifles. We need to ban high-capacity magazines. We need to ban guns that have detachable magazines. We need to ban guns that have removable stocks. We need to ban this gun. We need to be banning that gun. But, hey, we're not banning guns. We've never said we're going to ban guns. Gun-free zones create victims. There was a gun ban on every single public school. Every school, there is a gun ban. How does it keep happening if there's a gun ban? And I had some idiot. Look at that. They banned lynching. How'd that go? So my response was, they banned drugs in the country too. Doesn't look like we're drug-free in this country. It didn't slow down. In fact, the Democrats have been helping it across the border. Leaving that border open. What do you think's coming across that border besides illegal aliens? Illegal gun supplies and drugs. And the Democrats have sat on their hands for how long now and ignored the issue.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reverb Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to X-Roulette. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Sackhead Shaun is out sick. Again, this probably isn't going to be a weekly thing, but this is one of those nights where at least I had to come on. Shaun would have been here, but he just wasn't feeling right. Tim Waltz did not send him any tampons. Oh, he's going to kill me for that one if he hears that one. Today, another thing came out, and this screams, for those that are worried about the polls, we're going to talk a little bit about the polls. In fact, I'll talk about them right now. As we know, polls are oversampled heavily. And I get told, well, you got to oversample them because there's more Democrats out there, so you have to have more Democrats than Republicans. But when you're increasing by 5, 6, 7%, when there's only 1% more Democrats in the country, you're oversampling. And I got a poll that's on X right now. And if you look up Reaver Common Sense, take a look for it. It is asking, let me pull it up. Is oversampling by pollsters and intentionally spreading disinformation a form of election interference? That is my question. Because I believe that by putting out this false information, and they're intentionally doing it, oversampling to try to prop up a failed candidate, they are, in fact, interfering with an election. Oh, I love this. Give me 1 second. Please provide proof of your uterus. Well, number one, women can't get pregnant magically. Do they know that I don't identify as a woman? It just... And she didn't like that the only thing I said was, abortion is killing, because the woman before Claire, what we were going to do with the likes of Rick Scott and others who continue to lie about abortions. Nobody is killing babies. Nobody is carrying a baby to full term and then having it aborted in the 9th month unless it's a medical emergency. And all I said is murdering a baby. That's it. Whether you want to make up a cute word to cover it up, what you're actually doing. So, and then I also heard when we got, I'm going to back it up a little bit. I'm sorry. We'll get back to our election interference. We're going to go back to the guns and the abortion deal. Because one said, oh, there's more kids killed by guns per year than there is abortion. So the last stat on abortion I could find was 2020. 930,160 abortions. 2021, 2,590 kids were killed by guns, whether accidental or murder, ranging from 0 to 18, including 18 AM, 2,590. That's including gang shootings, suicide, accidental, police shootings, justified shootings, compared to 930,000 abortions. I don't think those numbers match up. One number is bigger than the other. So, yes. Well, all right, what I'm laughing about, as most people are, trying to get your impressions up for trying to get monetized. And it's not a must, but it would be nice to get a little money for pissing off liberals. And today was one of my best days for impressions. In fact, it is the best day. And that's why I was snickering. Now, is putting up disinformation of polls election interference? If you would go to Reverb Common Sense, scroll down for the poll, and vote on it. Share it to get a larger selection. I don't want to undersample now. Now, when we're talking about election, how that got brought up, Russia. We all know Kamala, all the leaks are saying the internal polling and data shows that she's doing worse than Biden. You want proof of it? DOJ came out and announced today that Russia is trying to interfere in our elections, and they have arrested several people and shut down a couple of websites. I didn't think it would take this. I thought it would be late October that they would start crying about Russia. So now they're laying the groundwork for her loss because Russia interfered again for Donald Trump. This is like a B flick movie. Not even an A-list movie. This is a D flick movie. I mean, I was wrong on when this was happening in the movie, but most people saw this coming. And you don't think that's election interference? That they're not trying to damage Trump's reputation more? And I say trying because it's not going to work. Most people are going, and now, I don't know these people. Yeah. I don't care for their... I don't want to say I don't care. I don't pay attention to their podcast and show. Dana? But now they're accusing some American podcaster that do some conservative podcasts as being Russian assets or being influenced by Russians. This is just, I mean, they are desperate to try to prop up camel toe. And yes, I'm going to use that term because you know what? I'm getting tired of being nice. I really am. I shouldn't, but I love it. I've been called Ivan because they think that's going to bother me. And somebody called me Gramps. Okay. That's fine. The person was probably about the same age as me. don't affect me, but they think that's going to silence me by saying that elderly shouldn't have a right or a voice, that they think they're smarter than our elderly people. Let me tell you, I'll put our elderly, the great generation, up against Gen X or any generation. So the boomers and all these you're trying to silence me by name call. Guess what? Not going to work. I'm going to keep my mouth going. I'm from Jersey. We say good morning by going, fuck you. That's good morning to us. You're not going to silence me, people. But this indictment alleges that right-wing commentators like David Rubin, Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, and Lauren Southern, as part of the Tenet Media YouTube channel, have been unwittingly working for a Russian influence operation. I have a question for all these simple-minded people that fall into that. All these simple-minded people that believe in that bull crap. Where were you when Hillary Clinton sold uranium supply to Russia? Where were you when Hillary was going to dinner at Putin's personal residence and bragging about it? Where were you when Hillary Clinton was doing the reset button with Russia? Where were you when Eric Swalwell was banging Fang Fang, the Chinese spy? How he's still a congressman floors me. You're banging a Chinese spy, and they allow you to say. Where were you all when it was found out that Dianne Feinstein had Chinese spies on her staff that had access to sensitive files? Why aren't you out there banging your drum about the Chinese spy that was just arrested that worked for the governor of New York and other politicians? Yes, I said governor of New York because I can't remember her name. Governor Hutchinson or something like Hot. Governor of New York. Democrats are pretty quiet on those. I wonder why. They turn a blind eye to Hunter's illegal dealings. And now all these files are popping up. Now that Biden's not going to be the president anymore, they're throwing him under the bus with no problem. All the millions and millions of fucking dollars that he got from China, Russia. But all of a sudden, they're so worried that there's election interference from Russia. As we just try to interfere with several elections, we have interfered in elections for decades. I can't wait till I get my new one in. It just, the left is so fucking comical. It's sickening.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You can catch the Reverb Common Sense Show right here on YouTube and Rumble every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Be warned, he's the one your mother warned you about.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to X-Roulette. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. Sackhead and Shaun isn't here for this show. I also got on the gun stuff today about the mental health and why we aren't there's also a section in there that you're not allowed to have guns with certain mental issues. But here's the mental issues. You put too hard. Sounds like there we go. If you push too hard on these mentally unstable people, screaming government interference, you're going to push them away from getting any help. Now, I know probably someone will try to use this against me, but I'm going to talk a little personal. As most people know, I was an EMT firefighter for about 20 years, more than 20 years. Through the years, I damaged my body bad. I'm going through disability. I've seen some horrific shit through my career. I had to cut out not only my EMS partner, but he's also my best friend. I had to cut him out of the car where he wrecked. One night we had 5 kids, and I shouldn't call them kids. They were 21, 22 years old. Coming back from a bar, I don't think there was alcohol involved with the driver. I can't remember. They hit the tree so fucking hard. There was a debris field. I forget how far around. We were seeing parts for a while until we came upon the car. None of us, and you're talking a bunch of firefighters, and we're all a bunch of guys that love cars, vehicles. We could not tell what this vehicle was. It was so damaged. The first 3 kids we pulled out, we literally pulled them out and put them to the side of the road. They were gone. There was no saving them. One of the kids was in there, and it took a while for us to extricate. But he was folded up literally like an accordion. His legs were mangled. One of his friends that was dead was on top of him face to face. So the first 3 we pull out there was no saving them. Next one we pull out, I got the kid that was folded up like an accordion. We had to transport him actually to the next state to a trauma center because flying was out of the question at that point. We can get him there pretty quickly. Because the trauma center that was in our area, I think they already had a trauma there, and the other kid in the car, even though he was pulseless, they were going to take him in because they thought he was still viable. He never made it. The guy I took, by a miracle, survived. He actually had a ripped aorta. We dropped him off. We got back to the squad. Phone rang. There was the hospital. They told us, listen, whatever you did, do it again from now on. Because they said if we'd have moved him just the wrong way, that aorta would have popped open and there would have been nothing we could have done. I have those images in my head at all times. Now, in a 6-month span, I think it was, I had like 9 or 10 kids killed in car accidents. ANG ranging from 17 up to 23, 24. I had a motorcycle accident, kid riding on the back of a motorcycle, driver lost control. They hit a tree. Woke up, kid in the back's talking, sitting there. Had one of our firefighters stay with him. Went over the other kid, felt the back of his neck. Spine was snapped right there. We still worked it because there was a large crowd. Next thing I know, I hear yelling for me to get over to the other kid. Now, the guy that I had watching him, he knew what he was doing. He was an EMT, but he had been a firefighter with us rode with us, trained with us, knew what he was doing. I knew shit was hitting the fan when he's yelling. I get over there, kid's not breathing anymore. Get him back to the rig. Going into cardiac arrest, starting CPR, intubate the medics too. We start suctioning. We thought blood clots. We're thinking that's weird. Shouldn't have blood clots already. Long story short, kid's lung exploded from impact. These are the things that I have in my head. And I live with it. It doesn't bother me. I got told I should talk to counseling for all this. I won't. Don't bother me. And the other reason why I won't, because I don't want it on my record. I'm worried about having that on my record. Because you get a government that's out of control, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, then he's unstable because he's a conservative and this is what he's talked to doctors about. We must take his guns. So, now think about people that actually have issues and don't trust the government. Do you think they're going to be willing when the government's screaming mental health is mental? You have to do it subtly. But we do need to look into mental health. We need to stop playing the games and blaming an object. And I know that's going to backfire on me, open it up a little bit to you guys and girls. It will backfire because Democrats will try to take advantage of that. I am mentally sound and able. To the point, I used to handle it like most of us do. Drinking. I don't even drink anymore. So, if we want to tackle the gun problem in this country, we need to start tackling and holding people responsible for their actions. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming the gun. Start putting the blame on the person. And someone thinks banning guns is going to make it harder for criminals to get guns. I'm not even going to entertain this one because they think banning a gun will make it harder for criminals to get guns. They think that criminals are going down to the store, filling out a background check. Let me do a background check and get a gun so I can go commit a crime. Oh my God, people. And I'm trying to be nice. Banning guns will keep kids from getting their parents' guns. By banning guns, it's going to keep them from getting their parents' guns. Do they even listen to themselves? Please. I'm... And this is why I'll never get monetized on X, because I will not be on it every day. So I'll never get the numbers to be monetized. I just can't. It's either ignorance or they're trolls. One or the other. With that, I'll see everybody Friday for my regular show. River Common Sense will be here. YouTube and Twitter on River Common Sense. Facebook and Rumble through SHR Media. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Or follow. And with that, have a great night.